horse friends. Thank you for joining Missy and I. Today we are going to be working on her scar tissue from her surgery with her granulosa tumor removal. So one of the things that we have noticed throughout this process of rehabbing her is that she is a little bit sensitive on the left side. And I believe it's because she actually has, if you look right here, she actually has quite a bit of scar tissue from the incision point. So when they were doing their surgery on her, they cut here to cut out the tumor, and then they laid her down and they got underneath her belly and took it out via the belly, and they cut all along this midline here. So throughout her recovery process, we've had acuscope therapy, we've had massage therapy, we've had chiropractic. And for any one of you that's ever had an injury before, you will know that scar tissue develops and adhesions develop. And they are a little bit painful when they break, but it is necessary to get them broken up. So today we're going to be trying PEMF therapy as well as cranial sacral and massage. So I am going to introduce you to Denise in a minute, who is with Full Body Balance, and she is going to tell you a little bit about what she's going to do and how she's going to help Missy.
I'm Denise with Full Body Balance, and I am a certified equine bodywork and PEMF specialist. I have a unique practice in which I really combine the two. I work with the body, and I also work with the machine, PEMF, which is pulse electromagnetic field. And we get fantastic results from our horses. And the type of body work I do is a little unique. Oftentimes people think of equine body work of going in and really working a muscle. And we do that kind of like a sports massage, but at the same time, with our horses, as you know, we need to keep them under their flight response in order to really get the best benefit for the horse. So to do that, we work with the horse. I work with the horse, not on the horse. And that's what makes the difference. I work with Cranial Sacral Therapy as well as Masterson method. And both of them are methods that work with the horse, and you partner with the horse. And you watch for their responses. Their responses could be deep blinks. Their responses could be licking and chewing. It could be a heavy sigh. It could be a change in the respiratory. And just like that. And once you see that, you be patient, you wait, and the touch is very gentle. And you work with the horse and let them tell you what they need. Horses know how to heal. Just like our bodies know how to heal, the horse's body knows how to heal as well. So I'm excited to work on Missy today. I hear she's got some old adhesions and scar tissue, and we'll see what we can do. So let's get started. Okay, first thing I'd like to do is introduce myself, of course, to the horse, and just let her know that I'm here. And I do a very easy evaluation. It follows a lot of Masterson method. And this is probably the most most pressure I put on the horse, actually. At the TMJ, just to see if there's anything going on. At the pulse, it's already releasing. I come down the cervical spine, into the shoulder. I test the withers. I see a little twitch. So far, I have not seen anything outrageous. A little dip there. I go from about 1 to 5 in my mind. It's just a baseline. A little dip there. Lumbar, sacrum. Then I come over here. Take a look at the glutes and come down the back side of the horse. And then I do the exact same on the other side. And again, this is just for me to have a baseline. Now we can see on the right side, TMJ is a little tight. Come down the cervical spine, right in front of the shoulder. She's got a little bit going on, not much. Withers, little twitching, little more dip on the right side. And this is just a note to myself, so I can go back to the owner or the rider, and they have a whole different way of looking at it because they're on the horse and they're riding the horse. Same with lumbar, sacrum, just a little, and the hamstring. I do take a look at the girth just to see what's going on both sides. And I like to start with my hands. I like to start with the body work portion first before we get into the PEMF. And what
Denise, do you feel that helps them relax them?
I do, because a lot of horses have never seen a machine like this and they haven't had the loops put on them before. Of course, they've had saddles and saddle pads put on, but they might be a little apprehensive. Mm-hmm. And also it's my energy and their energy, and I just want them to know everything's going to be okay. And
you can see in her eyes she's thinking a lot.
She's thinking. I ask for her head a bit. Some of this right now I'm doing is Masterson method. There she goes. There she goes. And my touch is ever so gentle. There you go, sweetie. There you go. And I just come down. What have you gotten there? Huh? Yeah. For some of us horse people, we love this. It's slow, it's meticulous, and for others who are the fast-paced, it might not be quite as interesting. But this is the best. This is the best. The deep blinks, the sigh, the head down.
And we believe that all horses deserve this, whether or not they're a lesson horse like Missy or a performance horse. You know, so often I feel like these lesson horses get overlooked, and it's really unfortunate because they deserve the same quality of care that everybody else gets.
Have your head this way?
I know you feel that way, Denise.
I do. Yeah, go on. I know you want to. Now, you may notice she didn't show in what I call my evaluation any distinct pain or anything like that. And I'm going to mention the reason for that. I'm sure a lot of you already know about fascia. Fascia is like a huge stocking that will go from the tip of the nose to the tail down each leg. It is like literally a web. We have it, the horses have it, every animal has it. And if I give her a minute and take my hands off her, she will just release, which is fabulous. And what fascia does is wrap around every tendon, it wraps around every organ and everything in the body. So just because I touched up here and did an evaluation and she didn't show, doesn't mean that this might not be a root cause of something that showed back here. Right. Because fascia is all.
So I have this theory because they cut her, on that right hand side, that she has shortened and contracted that whole side, which is why when we're riding her, we feel like if we put that leg on the left side, if she has to expand it, it's bothering her.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. She's very happy right there.
But it's hard, guys, because it's one of those things that you have to kind of work them through it, or it never gets any better. It becomes a chronic imbalance.
Good for you.
Just like us with PT. Not all, if you guys have ever had an injury, not all PT is that fun.
No.
This is fun, but what I mean the other part of it, the strengthening and the conditioning and all that stuff.
So today, since it's more of a demonstration of sorts, just to get an idea, I would spend an entire hour, and possibly even more, working with her. A couple of other things I'll show you. Those were a specific type of therapy. Cranial Sacral Therapy is a very light touch therapy, and some horses really respond. And just to give you a little bit of background, there are about 32 bones in the skull of a horse. There's about 205, 204 in their entire body. Now, the bones that are in the skull of a horse are put together with tissue and sutures, just like if you look at the skull of a human, and they expand and contract. So all of these apparatuses we're putting on our horses are affecting our horses. Whether it just be a halter and they pull back a tad, it can rearrange all of the bones in the body or in the skull so easily. And so just by some simple techniques will help a horse release some of that tension. You can also look at a horse sometimes and tell that they have a headache. They get headaches. I'm sure you know that, Kristen. Mm-hmm. You can look at their eyes. Sometimes their eyes are a little off. And that's simply because the bones have shifted. Right? So let's get out the PEMF machine. And I'll let you just think about that for a minute.
And we're going to get to see how she introduces it to her because Missy's never seen this before. Yeah, she's like, what is that, guys? Now, Missy is a very smart, willing horse, but she is always a little skeptical. So you guys notice I'm not tying her up when we show something new to her, right? Because we don't want to put her in a situation where she feels like she could be trapped and pull back.
Absolutely. And quite honestly, when I work on horses, even if the owner will start them in cross ties, I will always go, even though it's a little more work for me, I want them to have their head. That's part of the release. If the head can't go way down, they can't release. And part of the release is vulnerability. And we all know with horses, that's a big ask. Mm-hmm. When we're asking a horse to be vulnerable, but they can't release unless they are vulnerable. So it's a catch-22. Yeah. So they need to trust me, and I need to work with them as a partner and work, like I said, with them and not to them or at them. So I show it to her, and I hold it, and it's turned on. It's pulsing very, very lightly. Hi. Yeah, what's that all about? What's that all about? I know. And I double check just to see where I am with the intensity.
So I'm assuming, Denise, that you started on a low intensity first and see how they react?
Very low.
Can you explain to them what the machine does?
Yes, I will. Thank you for bringing that up. So pulse electromagnetic field is all around the world. There is a pulse electromagnetic field of 7.83. And there's a reason why scientists will say, take your shoes off, take your socks off, stand in the grass, stand in the dirt. It's grounding. In our cells, we have 100 trillion cells in our body. Horses have just about as many. The cells are constantly dying off and new ones are coming in. And because of the EMFs, the electromagnetic fields from phones and microwaves and everything going on in our world, our cells diminish and they need to be recharged, just like a phone battery. Same thing goes with a horse. If there's an injury or an illness, our cells need to be recharged. If my wrist is broken, I guarantee you the inflammation, the cells are needing to be recharged and replenished. And so that is exactly what this is. It's an outside energy source that brings energy through the cords into either my human body or an animal's. And it will reduce inflammation, increase circulation, and it will restore the cells that need to be restored. How does that feel, huh? Yeah? You're a brave girl. You're a brave girl. Yeah, no problem. No problem. And so there are different sizes of cords. I always start with the large, and there's about 7 placements. We move.
Why do you start with the large?
I start with the large because it encompasses the biggest part of the body.
Okay.
And I have a medium-sized cord, which I would use, for instance, if we had a stifle issue. Mm-hmm. I would use, because it will take a look at exactly where you need that to go. Mm-hmm. The other thing about these cords is we've got our spine here just like us, the humans do, and we have all of the nerves running off. And that's why sometimes you can hold the cord right here and you can watch how the nerve will run down the leg, mm-hmm. and how it will hit the stifle or it will hit another portion of the leg. So
do you guys notice how quietly she's standing? Right? So all the other horses around have been fed lunch, and normally she would have lunch right now. but she's enjoying this so much that she is willingly staying on her own.
Good girl. And I evaluate how she's reacting to it as to how much she can take. First time I work on a horse, I will definitely keep the intensity low so their body can acclimate to it.
So what are some signs that they would be telling you that they're not liking it or it's too high? Would you be looking at their eyes, their body tension? What would you be noticing, Denise?
All of the above. If their ears are back, if their head is held real high, if they're turning around and looking at me. I mean, they literally will turn around like they know, or they move their rear the other direction. Like, I am not enjoying this. I know. Now that was an indication that she's happy.
Yeah.
She's okay. She's just checking in. The other thing I'll mention with all body work, from my experience, has been there are some horses that won't show this. They won't give us the signs. Not while we're working on them. The reason why is because, once again, horses are stoic. We already know that. But they also have to be vulnerable in order to release. And in order to release, they better trust me that I'm on watch out for them. And I'm making sure nothing's going to happen. That is a big ask again. So for that all to happen, they need to feel very, very secure. And some horses are just too stoic to let it go. But I guarantee when I'm all done, and I take them for a short walk, or I put them back in their stall, I'll hear a whole lot of blowing of air and a whole lot of body shaking, and that's when they let it go. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Does that feel good?
Now, guys, I've had Denise work on me too, and this machine is amazing. My back and my shoulders that are chronic problems for me feel really good, and it stays that way for quite a while until, of course, I do something silly to hurt myself, because I'm a horse trainer and we do a lot of things, but it really does relieve a lot of the tension. So I'm really hoping that Missy is going to get some relief too, which it already looks like she is.
Yeah. And I like that, it's lovely that I can combine the two, being trained and certified in PEMF and in body work while the cords are here, rather than just sitting and waiting for the 5 minutes or however long for that cord. I can go on and I can work the withers. I can go back and work her neck. I can go and work the tail points. I could work her stifle. I could follow her tail and get her to relax. And let's not forget, the pole and the tail are connected. What happens up in the pole is going to happen up in the tail, and vice versa. And again, it's that fascia that keeps coming back to us. I know they don't. Now, for demo purposes, what I would do is continuously move the cord. I might do more of a Venn diagram type of deal on the hind end if she was having more hind end issues. And I will turn it up just a bit so you can get an idea of what the skin looks like, because she seems very comfortable with it. Since you can't feel it through the camera, you can certainly see it. I'm right here. I'm right here, honey. And some horses, yeah, you're a tough little cookie.
But that also might be an indication, guys, of how stuck she is through there too. Right?
And as far as I'm concerned, I never want to go too high. It's not a point of just being able to see it. It's a point of the horse being comfortable and healing from it. I can certainly hear it, and I can certainly put my hands on her
close
skin.
to it. Can you guys hear that? That's the pulsing.
You can see it over on this side, because this side
is the side that she has the trouble on.
So you absolutely can see the difference. I don't know if you can catch that on there. There you go.
Now big lick and chew.
Good head
So remember, guys, it's this side that she was sore on, the side that she has the surgery on, and you can see very little reaction on the other side, but this side is pulsing.
The other thing I'll mention about PEMF, the machine itself will bypass any cells that are healthy. So that is just the science behind PEMF. If you have a battery, if you have a phone and you have 20% left, you're not recharging the 20%. You're charging the rest of the phone battery that needs the charge. Same with this. It will go straight to the areas that need to be regenerated. And not only that, PEMF will create a healthy environment for the new cells to come in. Because as you know, skin cells, organ cells, they're dying off continuously and new ones are coming in our bodies. And so it's going straight to where it needs to go. And that is just simply the science behind pulse electromagnetic field. You're being a good girl. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. There you go. There you go. And it's great to combine the two, to be able to give her some cranial sacral therapy at the same time she's getting her PEMF. Good for you. Good for you.
Hi, Mrs. We love you.
So I will turn it down because we're going to focus on that area. Can we focus on your scar area? See what that feels like for you? Now, when you double up the cords, you have more energy. It's just the way the cords work. When they're separated, it's a little less energy. So I'm cognizant of that. And I'm always watching her. I'm always watching her eyes, her head, everything about her. Because again, I'm not doing this to her, I'm doing this with her. Yeah, there you go. She's twitching here. And that's okay.
You can see in her face that she's really focused on what it is you're doing and trying to allow it to release. You guys see how quiet and still she is? To me, that's her really trying to process what's happening.
And this is her first time.
Mm-hmm.
This is her first time.
Oh, yeah. To me, it doesn't mean that she doesn't like it.
No,
it just
no.
means like, oh, yeah, that's right there, right?
Right. And I'm going at it very slowly, purposefully. Because it's important that for her to have another session can be completely different than her first session. But she's taking this very, very well.
She's a very good girl.
Yeah.
She's a special one to me. Well, thank you so much, Denise, for joining us.
Yes, yes.
And guys, please feel free to comment below. And I know Denise would love to answer your questions too.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you, horse friends.